I certainly understand. I certainly understand how that feels to all the great fans that we have. The student section that's full. People come to the game, and I understand their disappointment. I understand our team's disappointment. I think when you end the season the way we have the last two games, it has to rest solely on me. And I've loved this team. I love everything about them. I certainly didn't think today would go that way. Thought we came out ready to play, and in the end, they were the better football team. So I don't shirk that. I own that. I'm responsible for it. I understand that in times like this, it can get a little bit negative, and I just say honestly, that should all be directed at me. I don't want the players to panic. It shouldn't go towards them. It shouldn't go towards the coach. I think it has to fall on me. We want to be a team that gets better at the end of the year, and these last two games have not been that. So I take that, and I own that, and I'll answer all your questions.
How much did it affect the overall picture that you couldn't get in the end zone in the first half? 1 for 4 and getting in the end zone in the first half.
Yeah, I think that was really the story in the first half. I mean, we had 186 yards rushing. I mean, we just outrushed Iowa. We had 186 yards rushing in the first half. And they were able to score touchdowns, whereas we scored field goals. And so that certainly was the issue. But that's, if we're being honest, that's been our, sort of the issue most of the year, is just not winning the red zone touchdown battle. And so if we hold them to a couple field goals there, the game is different. Even at the end, it's 40 to whatever. We go down. We're hoping to make it 40 to 24, and we fumble in the red zone. So. But certainly early, it's really more, the early start. I'd say it was that. We had a couple chances to make some plays, and we didn't quite make the plays, and they did a good job of making some plays.
Both your run and your pass defense were kind of disrepair these last two games. What do you feel like happened? I know it's kind of a bigger picture question, but what do you feel like happened to your defense?
Yeah, no, I think. Like I said, this is the last game of the year. I think it's the right time. I appreciate the question. You ask me whatever you want. I mean, today was to me today was about big plays. It wasn't like they ended up. Now trust me, they had the ball, controlled the ball. They ended up running. But the play action game off the run game, and just probably having to do too much to sell out. Even playing a run defense, like we knew they on the long play there at the end, the bootleg. Sierra comes off and tries to make the tackle on the quarterback, and then they have an explosive play. I have to take some time to really delve into it, because, as I said, I thought we played really well last week, and I thought we played really well today. And certainly the kickoff returns and the field position tilted in the first half against us. I mean, at one point they had 10 points and they had 9 plays, or something crazy like that. So I was just like, hey, calm down, just keep playing. But yeah, I mean, anything I say right now, Sam, will feel like an excuse. It'll feel like me to say it like an excuse. I look out there, I see a bunch of young players. I just keep saying to them, like, hey, get off and make a play. You need a sack fumble. Defense is about, big hits and picking balls off and sack fumbles and scooping scores and all those things, and we're just not getting those versus the higher quality opponents, right? And so this was a team that had a really good plan, and they made plays, and we just didn't quite make the plays. I thought we defended like the traditional run way better at times today than we have, and then quarterback, made some plays that really hurt us. We have them in third down. It's a run, cue, draw, score. Like we have them in the red zone, they score. I mean, those things can't happen.
Related to the red zone struggles, at halftime, you go in and Emmett's got 177 yards on the ground and no turnovers offensively, and yet you're down 8 points and they're getting the ball coming out. Is that a tough pill to swallow, knowing all of that going into the locker room?
I think going in the locker room, I like the way, we took the ball early saying, hey, let's get the game to the fourth quarter and have the win in the fourth quarter. So I knew we were going to have to battle through the third. I liked the way that Emmett was playing. I thought, hey, my hope is that we get back in the red zone and they would run the ball through the red zone, and obviously TJ got hurt early on in the game, and that limited a lot of the things that we wanted to do. And so, he pulled his hamstring, and so it was just kind of like, Dana was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to move him around. One of our big thoughts of this game was like, in the drop back game, hey, he'd scramble around, he'd make, because sort of the way that they play, and we were not able to, had to kind of abandon that early. But I didn't mind being down by 8. I mean, I just, we thought like, hey, this is kind of how this game's going to go. I was disappointed that we were losing, and our pass defense was losing. Kind of going back to Sam's question, they played man. We played man to stop the run, and they beat us. To kind of beat us in the passing game. And so it was sort of like, hey, well, I guess we'll have to play some more zones if we're not going to quite win. I think, if you play man, you got to win, right? So those things were hard today.
Are your receivers competitive enough today, both when the ball was in the air and while they were running their routes?
I didn't notice anything. I mean, I guess might have seen things on TV that I didn't see. I thought like on Emmett's run, I thought there were huge blocks. There were just a couple of miscommunications, right? Like there's a couple times we're running option routes and like, guy sits it down and I had no concerns with effort or anything like that. What I did see was 3 or 4, times we had, a 50-50 ball and we did, unfortunately we didn't come down with it. Their kid, even at the end, made a great catch for it. But I think our receivers have played well all year. We get in the game, we got a young quarterback, he pulls his hamstring and kind of limited maybe some of their opportunities. And also Emmett was, in a disappointing day, I don't know the right word. It was an amazing effort by him. That was something that, I'll probably remember for a long time, just how hard he played and how well he played. And, but yeah, I'm just trying to think, Sam, I'm sorry. I don't remember feeling like, hey, they're not playing hard or anything like that. Yeah.
Just like winning those 50-50.
Yeah, well, yes. Like that one, I think just in the end zone, Quinn just jumped too early. If he jumps a second later, hopefully he catches that ball. The second one, down the right corner, like it should be handed off. It's an RPO, but at the same time, you're hoping you make those plays. Our guys have made those plays a lot.
What impact do you think that safety had on the overall feel of the game?
I think, I think we came out, we got the stop, right? So we're down 8, right? So you get the stop and you're feeling pretty good. And then they kick it and they do a great job in the kicking game and they're offside. So we make them repunt thinking, we've got an explosive play now. And, we just kind of don't field it. And then we pick it up and, I certainly thought it was targeting, I thought he hit him with the crown of his helmet and all that. So, maybe all that, but it's still, so it goes, it's now a 10-point ball game, right? And at the end of the day, like on offense, like you went 3 and out twice in the third quarter, right? You have to get a first down and get the defense off the field, and so that was, to me, that was really the tail. But, Jacory's a great returner. The second return he had was a dynamic return. They called, the personal foul to bring it back, but, that I don't think that play was probably the end-all, be-all, but it certainly didn't help.
Did they give you an explanation on the targeting?
No, they didn't. Well, they can throw that on the field. They didn't throw it on the field, so I kept asking them as I watched the replay. I was like, "You hit him with the crown of his helmet. I know he's not defenseless. That's the first one, but he's hit with the crown of his helmet." And so it didn't go to review. They looked at it, I guess, wherever they look at it, somewhere off-site, and then they just said they cleared it. So I was asking the officials, like, "Can you tell me why?" And none of them could. They can't tell you why. So, because they don't know, right? Because they're not on that call. So basically, they said, "Hey, we cleared it." So I'd have to ask them why.
Were you close to? Was TJ close to not being able to go with that hammy?
Yeah, we talked about it a lot. Even at the end, and I thought, just let TJ's future and what I think he can do. Like he drove us right down the field there at the end. Unfortunately, on that last drive, with a tight hamstring. I've been proud of him and all that he's done. I think. That's a great learning lesson for a young quarterback to have to go out there and play when you're not at 100% versus a really good defense. I don't know how many times we threw it today, but he scrambled a few of them, and I don't think we had any sacks. I thought the offensive line answered the call. We ran the ball, we pass protected, and he got the ball out of his hand. But we thought about it. They thought about it on offense, and I encourage TJ to play. Man, I would never want a kid to get hurt, but as a quarterback, you have to learn how to play when you're not 100%, and I thought he tried.
I'm sorry, when did that happen?
That happened in the first. That happened maybe in the second drive of the game. Right, he rolled out right and got hit. So and whatever Emmett's drive was, the drive after that, I think down in our side, right. So he got hit, and so really for the rest of the game, he battled through it.
Was the injury to TJ a contributing factor into the goal line play with Heinrich?
Well, we were having to use Heinrich to do any sort of zone read stuff, and he ran it. They ran the ball. He read it, handed it off. Emmett got down to the 1. I think they were probably hoping that he would be able to hand it off again and get in. So Danny just said, "Say run the same play." I think they wanted to keep TJ out and him in. I think the hurry to the clock because we were thinking, "Hey, let's go score and go for 2 and make it 40-24, 40 whatever the score was, make it competitive and see if we can go onside kick, get the ball back. So I think we probably tempoed it, and I think if we went back, we probably wouldn't do that.
Coach, what's your message to the fan base just with the highs and the lows this season has brought, and kind of how you move things forward to this program at 7-5?
Yeah. I don't want to say anything right now that's other than what I said at the beginning, because I think people have a right to be upset, okay, with how it ended. For me, all I can say is I had some of the best recruits here today. I'm going to continue to work. I'm going to work as hard as I can, as long as I can. I'm going to surround myself with really positive people, not toxic people, and just try to continue to move the program forward. This group of guys is the first team to be bowl eligible 2 years in a row since 2013, 2014. So is it enough? No. But is it better than it was? Yes. So, but if I'm a fan right now, I'm walking away. I'm mad. So I'm walking away mad. I'm not saying I'm walking off the field. Some people are supporters. Like, good for them. Like they're passionate about this place. I love being the head coach of University of Nebraska. I love being in Nebraska because people are passionate about this. So I don't want my message to be anything other than, I don't want it to be hope and all. It's like, yeah, it wasn't good enough, man. But if I start playing with positives, it's like, all right, Matt, But I think today just has to be that. Please don't be like super toxic at the players, because I want them to just put it on me. Like, I'm in charge of this. Troy and them, they extended me. Like, they believe in what we're doing, and then all of a sudden we come down the stretch, we lose these last 2 games. I'm pissed off at myself. Like, I don't, but. I know where we're headed. I know what we're doing. I know where we're moving forward. And so I believe in what we're doing. I believe in the recruits that are bought into us. I believe in the signing class Wednesday. And so I don't want to overreact. These last 2 games weren't good enough. We'll get a really good bowl game versus a quality team. We'll catch our breath. Well, I hope all those Husker fans just say, you know what, let's go somewhere warm, hopefully, and be in a bowl game. And then let's celebrate signing day on Wednesday. Let's go back and look at the fun moments we had this year. And then, we'll continue to move forward, and we'll continue to build the thing. But I don't want it to be anything else for me other than, like, I understand, and losing these last 2 games the way we've lost them is not good enough. But that does not minimize the fact that, these kids have worked I don't say that these kids have worked like the Javens of the world and all those guys. All they dreamt about was going to a bowl game, and now they're going to 2 in a row, and not like with a waiver. Like, they've earned their way into it. Disappointed with how it ended, but we'll continue to work and figure it out.
Not something you can fix in a month, but the line of scrimmage component, where do you feel like you guys are right now, even compared to a couple of years ago? Like, do you feel like you're further along there, and how much further do you have to go to winning that part?
Yeah, no, I think that's the number one thing for us right now is like controlling the line of scrimmage. I don't want to minimize our offensive line, who was kind of under fire in the middle of the season, what they've done down the stretch, in my opinion. Like to go out there and have 186 yards rush in the first half. If the last 2 games, I believe, if they don't quite get it, if it doesn't come in a 2-minute game in the fourth quarter, maybe they have a 300-yard game. So they're not giving up sacks. You got But all that being said, we have to win the lines of scrimmage to win. I mean, especially like we played 2 games with that's the win today was a severe issue. And so there's one point where I look out there on defense, okay, and I've got Riley Van Poppel, who's a sophomore. I've got Keona, who's a sophomore. I've got Will Waneri, who's a sophomore. I've got Dylan Rogers, who's a sophomore. I've got Rex Guthrie, who's a redshirt freshman. I've got Marshall, who's a junior, and I've got Donnie, who's a redshirt freshman. So those guys are all going to be great players. But that's not like I'm not selling a vision of hope. I'm saying, like, they have to grow up. That being said, we have to get to the point where, like, we run you over on the offensive and defensive lines. We had a great defensive line last year, and they were vets. We had 5th and 6th year guys, and MJ Sherman and all those guys. And so, but I don't want to put this on these kids, right? Like, we just have to continue to grow. We have to continue to develop our own players and recruit the best players possible. And if we want to compete at the level that we want to compete, and so 7-5 is not the level we want to compete at. We want to compete at a much higher level. And so we've had moments where I look this year like I thought we were doing that, and then other moments we didn't. And but I also don't want to minimize what the offensive line has done down this stretch here. They've I really believe they've really come together.
If this was Emmett's last home game, how do you summarize what he's meant to the program?
I think Emmett's a tremendous example, of what great character and integrity brings. Of a kid that was maybe undervalued coming out who stayed here and stayed in the program and has done all the things and went from just sort of a rotational player to a kind of somewhat rotational starter to now. I mean, that was one of the best players in college football out there playing today, and so. That's why, I hope all of our guys, they sit there and they look at Emmett and they say to themselves, boy, I'm really disappointed today, but I just got to get back in the weight room with Corey on Tuesday and got to go eat with Kristen on Monday and trust that someday my breakout, like Emmett's having his breakout, will come. And so I'm really proud to coach Emmett. I'll support him whatever his decision is. I've told him that from day one. And, I think he'll be a really good pro player, and I think if he comes back here, he'll have another dynamic year. He'll be up for every major award, and he'll leave a Husker legend. But more importantly, he's a really good man.
Does this closing stretch make it more challenging to walk into the time of year where so much business in this sport is handled now over the next 4 to 6 weeks?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've got a great thing going. We've got great facilities. We've got great everything. I mean, I think Pat and his staff will do a great job. I mean, I think the recruits that have said they're coming here, I think they've seen what we can be. We've also seen what we don't want to be, like the last 2 days. But that's why they're coming here. They're coming here to get us over the hump, right? And so, not many people would have the crowd that we had today, and not many people would have the things we have. And so, I mean, yeah, would I've loved to have ended with two wins and have everyone be here, 100%. But at the end of the day, people are coming here because they know this is the best place for them if they've committed to us, and then we hope the relationships that they have with us will be there and through thick and thin. So, like I said, Mitch, I think it relates to recruiting. I'm going to wake up every single day and work as hard as I can, and our staff will do the same thing and try to surround ourselves with as many positive people and people who believe in what we're doing, and we'll find a way to get it done.
Anything else, Coach?
All right, thank you guys for everything all year.
Thank you.
Questions for Emmett? I should say first 200-yard game in Nebraska in 11 years for Emmett, 29th or 217 today.
How tough was this for you, just having a game like this, but not obviously getting the result you wanted?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just really hurt for the seniors. I want them to go out with a win, and so, anytime you lose a game, end of the season, last home game is just always tough. But it was a tough game, man. But I'm more hurt for the seniors than anything.
Yeah, it's probably not easy to separate your own performance from the team result, but what was working for you today, especially in the first half against their defense? You played really well. Yeah, I was just trying to leave it all out there on the field. We talk a lot about, helping the seniors go out with a win, and so I just wanted to leave it all out there for them, and just trust in my training, trust what God put me on this earth to do, and just keep running hard, trying to make winning plays for the team to win. Did you guys have a sense that maybe you would be able to attack a certain portion of their defense, like maybe the edges of the defensive back? What was kind of the plan, or the run game plan going in?
Just get downhill. But honestly, every game we know that we can run the ball on any team, so it's just controlling what we control and just taking it one play at a time.
To have a drive like that at the beginning, your second drive, I think you covered all 90 yards on that drive. What kind of a shot of momentum was that to you and the team in that moment?
Yeah, it was great. After that we didn't really score as much in the red zone, so just getting down there and scoring was huge for the momentum of the team, and we should have scored on some of the other drives in the red zone as well, but just wanted to get the momentum going and get the team going early.
You
decisions to make. How do you approach the off season and figuring out the timing of what you want to do?
Yeah, just leaning on God and leaning on my faith. I'm just gonna go back home, talk to my family, and just let God take over that. I'm just gonna take this time to just pray about everything. I'm thankful for everybody here, thankful for fans, teammates. Like, I love this place a lot, and so I just got to go pray about it and let God decide what I'm gonna do.
How do you? It's been such a great finish to the season for you. Yet it was a tough November again for the team, going 1-3 down the stretch. How do you reconcile that? Like, how does that work together? Those two things come together in your mind for you to be able to like assess what you got out of the end of this season.
Yeah, we could talk a lot about what I got out of it, but if we didn't win the game, I'm not really gonna be happy. So my job is just to help this team win, and that's what it's always been. And so I'm not gonna make it all about me. I want to win for this program. I want Nebraska to win football games, and that's all I care about.
At the same time, you made it pretty clear how important like Nebraska football history is to you by getting a relationship with Amir Abdullah this last year. In what way do you envision that factoring in the decision that you have ahead? Just what kind of a place you already have and could have in this program's history?
Yeah, that's actually cool. Me and Amir got really close in the off season, and we kind of have similar paths. Not as similar, but super similar when it comes to like we've been overlooked in our whole life, and Nebraska was my only Power 5 scholarship out of high school, and so just to be in this position, it's a blessing. But I mean, all those things are cool. But like I said, I just care about winning.
Shown younger guys on this team that if they stay the course, things can happen, good things can happen.
Yeah, I'm blessed that I could be an example for a lot of the younger guys. I tell them all the time, man, it just keep stacking days. It might not be your time right now, but you working hard right now is going to separate you when you do get your opportunity. So I tell them every single day, just keep stacking days, keep getting better, because everybody's path is different. But when you get your opportunity, you got to make the most out of it.
And there's some guys that, with a decision like yours, will choose to opt out of the bowl game. Do you expect to participate in the bowl game this year?
Yeah, that's nothing I just got to go talk about and pray about. But yeah, I'm just heard about this one right now.
How do you just describe the emotions of walking off the field, given the decision you have to make? No emotional there, given the loss as well.
Yeah, it was tough, man. Especially just going out that way, like end of the season. Seniors, like I said, it's always tough to lose a game, but that one, it felt different losing that game at home with my teammates. So it was tough. Appreciate you guys. God bless y'all.
How tough was the game just to be, you guys came up short in the red zone in that first half. That kind of seemed to be the story that kind of wrote the script the rest of the way for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We just got to find a way to punch it in, help our defense out by scoring touchdowns. Just one man short, one man shy, just finish blocking, just to punch it in, and that's really what it comes down to.
How do you think things went in terms of controlling the line of scrimmage today?
Yeah, I'm proud of the guys that left and right of me. It was a great preparation all week, and I felt like we executed when we needed to, and just came short on a couple plays. Specifically, in the red zone on scoring touchdowns.
What's next for this team as far as just bouncing back from this and turning the page now to a month of bowl practices?
Yeah, these next couple of days off, it's a lot of, reflection and, what guys want individually and, what we want to put as a group. And then, we just got to stay as a brotherhood inside the locker room. There's going to be a lot of outside noise, which is, from, what you guys do. But we just got to stay, together and, got to have a great, month of preparation, for the bowl game. And, guys just got to be willing to, execute that, meet those standards, and then also, rise to the occasion, and, be ready for the bowl game.
As a senior who hasn't been here a long time, just the 1 year, like what, how do you approach this final game? Like, what's your mindset going into bowl season?
Yeah, we're gonna watch the tape from this last one. as a group, me individually, see where I can improve at. Talk with the coaches, get a good game plan together of, how to get better, and then, go work that plan and execute it, when the time comes.
How do you and just the offensive line as a whole kind of reconcile the day that you helped Emmett have, like rushing the ball, but then obviously along with the loss?
Yeah, it's frustrating, when we want to come out with the win, but it just comes down to, our simple preparation, during the weeks, leading up to this, and then, trying to, execute when the time comes, and we just fell short of that. Emmett had a hell of a day, we're proud of him. We really wanted to, have him, put display on, what he can do.
Anything else for Rockland? What is your appreciation level for Emmett? He's probably going to get first team All Big Ten this week. What do you think of all that he's done this year?
I mean, he deserves every credit he gets, and from my perspective, he doesn't deserve. He needs more credit than what he's actually given. His preparation, his level, his confidence, he has himself, but also on the rest of the team, and the energy and juice that he brings is nothing like I played with before.
You played Jeremiah Love. I mean, he's one of the other top backs in the country. I mean, how similar are is Emmett to Jeremiah?
Yeah, I've gotten that question a few times. They're very similar backs, but they're also two different type of backs too. I mean, Jeremiah Love, he's got that breakaway speed, hit the little hole and he's gone. And Emmett's got to fight for every, ounce of yardage he has, and he'll make 10, 11 guys miss and find a way in the end zone. Emmett's a gritty back. He'll find a way to get every single ounce of yards and, find a way to put the team on his back. And Jeremiah Love, he's got explosiveness, talent. So, they're two different backs, but they're also very similar.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Right in here, maybe a couple other guys out in the secondary spot. We'll do two more in here. So, questions for Riley?
Your defense has struggled the last 2 games against Penn State and Iowa. What do you guys chalk that up to, and how do you fix it in a month before a bowl game?
I think at the end of the day, I don't want to talk about last week. You just want to talk about this game, but it's just I think we started real well today. Last week we didn't as players we didn't bring that energy, and that's on us. It's not a schematic thing, it's not a coaching thing. It's they're putting us out there on the field. We have to go out there and do our jobs at a high level and make plays. I think we started well today. We had that, and then somewhere I think the game just got away from us. And so I think going into bowl season, it's just you have to get that mentality back. It's not so much the X's and O's, but we have to go out there and you have to have 11 hungry dogs who are going to go out there and eat. So.
What do you expect for the future with this defensive front? Like when you look at the room that you have, not just the guys that we saw play today, but like the whole group at large. What do you see for this group, just among the guys that are coming back?
Yeah, I see only going uphill from here. To be frank, we have Judy, he's the senior, and then other than that, I think we have a couple juniors, and then we're all sophomores. I'm a redshirt sophomore, and we all have 2-3 years of eligibility left. And that's not an excuse. We're a young room, but it just you don't have to worry because you see the development, you see how we're playing. Getting better week by week, and so I think in the future, I think we're only going to elevate. I think bowl season now you get a month of I don't know how many practices it is, but you get all that to just work, develop, get better. You go out, you get one more game, and then boom, all off season. Like I said, we're a young room, and we're only going to get better from here on out.
How do you feel like the training that you got from your coaches on defense and specifically in defending the run? I'm sure you feel good about it, but what's your confidence level in those guys moving forward?
If I understand your question correctly, I think we're coached well. I think it's up to us. Like I said earlier, it's players on the field. Coaches aren't out there. We have to go out there and do our jobs. They do theirs. So they coach us at a very high level. We have to go play at a high level. We're at a high-level program, and if you want to be a good team, you have to go play well.
What did you think of their
of their line and their backs and their quarterback as a runner.
Yeah, the quarterback, like he's not not one of the most athletic we've played, but he can run, he makes the plays, can extend a play with his feet. He does well with that. Backs were good, and then that O-line. I think I was looking at it. I think it was 3 of them. I've played for 3 years now, so very experienced group, very good, technically sound all across the line. It's always a fun game whenever you're going to play them because you're going up against good competition. It's going to make you better, and it's going to be a hard fought game. That's what you come to the Big Ten. That's what you come to Nebraska to play. Wish we would have played it better today. I wish we could have pulled it out, but it's always nice going against those guys.
When do you feel like the game got away? You said it got away.
It was a turning point.
Everything's kind of cloudy after the game sometimes, so I couldn't put my finger on it. But I think somewhere in that third quarter, it was like we came out, and I felt like we were playing well defensively to come out of the half. We had 2 good, I think it was 2 3-and-outs. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. And then, a few explosive plays, and we have to do better at limiting those. And then you look up, and boom, they're at 40, and it was just like, and I think that comes from those explosive plays, and we have to do a better job of handling those.
Riley?
Disappointing was it today, just knowing how many seniors were on the field and didn't walk away from it?
Yeah, it sucks. Senior day, last time this exact team will be on that field, all of it together, and I remember it kind of 2 years ago. Same thing happened at our field, different game, obviously, but I think each year you get older I get, a little bit closer those seniors I get, just as I mature, and they're already older than me, so. And been around them for a longer period of time, and so I hurt for them. I know what they've done for us, for this program. Some of them have been here 5 years, some of them have been here 1 or 2. But no matter who it is, they've put their heart and soul into this program and to us as younger players, and they give everything they got every single day. And so I wanted it for them bad. I wanted it for them, but I wanted it for the whole team. And so it hurts just knowing some of those guys like I'm close with, some of the DBs, you got Keys, Sean, some of those guys, just knowing I wish I could have done better my job to help the team win. Thank you.
Questions for Sierra?
So Sierra, there's that play where you're coming on a blitz to Iowa's quarterback. What did you kind of see on that play? He made a nice play, but what did you see on?
It was a play action. I saw the run action at first, and then I saw him pull the ball, and I didn't attack the upfield shoulder, and he out-leveraged me and completed the explosive pass. So that was definitely a very impactful play that I didn't make when I had the opportunity. And so I have to be better in that situation.
There were a few explosive passing plays. Just what did you see happen on those? Was it play action, given some difficulty there?
I gave up an explosive passing play on a man call. I was playing outside leverage too much, and he ran a dig away from my leverage, and I have to be better in that scenario. But I think that the other explosive one when on the cover 2, that was also my fault.
Sierra, how tough is this one to swallow? I mean, the way the season went, there are so many peaks and valleys that you guys have battled through, but to lose your rival in this fashion, how hard is it to end the regular season like this?
It's tough. It's definitely tough, being that it's senior night. But what I will say is that I think that the team did come to play today. I think everybody played well, but I feel like the majority of this is my fault. I had a lot of opportunities to make plays, a lot of opportunities to change the game and impact the team in a positive way, and I didn't make those plays. This is definitely my worst game that I've played this year, so it's an unfortunate feeling. But at the end of the day, like I can't pity myself or anything. I have to take accountability, for my play. So I have to be better. And yeah, I apologize to my teammates.
Sierra, it's probably hard to answer right here when you just finished the last game, but if you look at this month, you guys came into this month and had a chance to really do something special. And in the first game, you're ahead and you lost your starting quarterback, and it was an uphill battle, despite how well TJ went out there and worked. How big of a moment, how much of a turn in the season do you think that was to lose Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it was an unfortunate moment for us, for him. But you have to push forward, and I think that while we want Dylan to be able to play, if he can't, he can't, and the next man up mentality is what you have to have. And I mean, TJ's come out and he's done a great job. So I don't think that, these losses or anything fall on his shoulders or fall on stuff like that. I think it more so falls with, me and what I've done. So yeah, I really do apologize to my teammates, my coaches, the fans, because I had a lot of opportunities to put us in position to win, and I hurt us in those situations. So I think that part of being a leader, part of being somebody that, says that they're a leader is accountability, and that's what I have to do in this moment. So I do take that one because a lot of those plays have to do with me. So.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good one.